So this is lecture 2 of Advanced Excel series, and today I'm going to focus on some of the most important formulas that will come very handy to you whilst you are working in your office or at home. But these are some of the most important formulas that you should know. There are other formulas also which come very handy, but that we'll cover in lecture 3. Let's start with some of the formulas. The four formulas that I'm going to focus on today is if, sum if s, count if, and count if s, HLOOKUP and VLOOKUP both. So let's start with the first one. As you all know, the basic formula sum. I'm also going to tell you some of the faster techniques that you can apply to work with all the formulas. You just press equal to, type sum, and press tab. When you press tab key, it takes the formula which you are doing as in the correct form. Now you select the range. You selected the range by clicking on Control Shift down. You close your brackets, press enter. This gives you the sum. Now this is very simple. Now the thing is, what if you have to calculate the sum on a particular criteria? So suppose if you have to find the total sales for the month of February, what you will do? Click equal to sum if, press tab. It gives you the what to be selected and when to be selected. Range. First, it gives you range. So you have to select from this range. What is your criteria? February is your criteria because you want total sales over February. And what is your sum range? What are you calculating the sum of? We are calculating the sum of revenue. You press enter and you get the desired result. Now, what if you have two criterias on which you have to find the, so suppose you want to find the total sales in February, but you want also to find the sales only for the product shirt white. So you press sum if, give your range, what is your criteria. That was the simple way to calculate the range. But when you have to calculate on multiple criterias, you are going to use the formula called as SUMIFs. So now this is very important to learn what you are doing because it gives you it gets you into confusion if you don't use it correctly. Uh, so first of all is the sum range. First sum range is this. What is the criteria? No, that's what I'm talking about. Even I get confused over this. Sum ifs, sum range. You are calculating the sum of this criteria. Criteria range is this. What is your criteria? Criteria is first criteria is February. Second criteria range is your product range. Then comes your second criteria, which is shirt white. Close your brackets and you get the desired result. Now, what if you have three? That's how you practice. Press sum if s, press your tab key, and then give your sum range. Sum range is you're calculating the sum of revenue. Give your first criteria range, which is your month, and sorry, and your criteria. Second criteria range, which is your product. Your second criteria is shirt white. Third criteria range, which is your country, which is USA. Close your brackets, you get the desired result. That's how sum if and sum if s works. Now what if you have to just count, what if you just have to count the number of items that are there? Okay, so this is the formula, count if. Now, what you have to do is like, if you just want to count what are the, I mean, how many months are of February are there? How many shirts were sold in February? Sorry, sorry, I put in just count. We are putting it count if range. What is the criteria? February, and here it is. Similarly, works count if s, which is criteria range. Criteria range is this. Criteria is February. Criteria range 2, which is shirt white, gives you 4. Similarly, you can do it for 3 criterias. Now, this comes to use only when you have to count the number of things which you are willing to do. Let's move on to the next one. This is if. So suppose if you want that the in this table you want that we want to highlight the agents which are having this revenue of less than a particular figure, or we want to highlight the agents which are having the quantity sold below a particular figure. Let that figure be 3. What we will do, how this is used is you press equal to if your quantity, let's do it together. If quantity is less than 3, you give what you want to say, sorry, want to say highlight, or if it is not true, then you leave it blank. It's blank. You see, I I can give it as, instead of highlight, if I want to say below not good, if I drag it down, it says not good because this is the agent which is having the quantity below 3. Now, one important thing, if you drag it normally, it changes the cell B8, B7, 6 itself. Now, while we are at it, if we are typing the formula and if we press F4, it puts dollar signs across it. What dollar sign does is, if we are putting dollar signs and then we are dragging it, it will not drag. The it fixes that cell. It fixates on that cell. See, B4, again B4, again B4. So this was just one thing I wanted to tell you apart from the formulas. Okay. Similarly, you can have nested ifs. So suppose if you want to check both the criterias of your quantity and revenue. So you say if, you put in and in between, you put in your both the criterias. On B6 if the quantity is less than 3, on C6 if the revenue is less than 4, it will say highlight or it will leave as blank. It does. Now coming on to VLOOKUP, which is very important. What do you do? What is VLOOKUP? VLOOKUP is very important formula. Let's do it together. Equal to VLOOKUP. Now if you want to look what is the price for product sold by agent A from this table. What is the price sold by of the product sold by agent A? Now you can see it here directly, but if this is a very large table, then it gets to where it creates very big problem. Now you type in VLOOKUP, you give your lookup value. You are looking for agent A. You give your table array in which you are looking for agent A. You give your column index for for which you want the value of. So this is first, second, third, and fourth. We are looking for the price. We'll give it 4, and we will go give 1 as true, and it gives us 40. 40 is the price for which agent A is selling at. Now, if we are looking at revenue, we will give it as 3. It gives us 200. What if we are looking at just quantity? We give it 2. It gives us this. This is how we do VLOOKUP. Now, this is something else called as HLOOKUP. It just gives when you so you can see when we are looking up in a vertical range, when we are looking for a particular figure in a vertical range, we use VLOOKUP. While if we are looking for a particular value in horizontal range, we go for HLOOKUP. It's very similar as VLOOKUP. We are looking for this value in this range, and we are looking for 4, and we are see for agent B, the price is 50. This is what it gives us, right? Okay, I think we have covered all of the formulas. Uh, okay, place your comments with what else formulas do you want to learn, and we'll